Welcome to Bio-Rad's Blackboard Training. This is a series of short, informal tutorials brought to you by industry experts. Today we'll discuss establishing fixed or floating means and standard deviations. To evaluate if a quality control result is acceptable, the lab needs to compare this result against a target. The target consists of a mean and an SD. If expressed as a percentage, this is also called a CV. Labs can fix their means and standard deviations, or let them float. First, let's look at fixed. Here we're using a fixed mean and SD. In this case, the mean and SD will not change, regardless of how many data points are evaluated. So, how are fixed means and SDs established? First, gather at least 20 data points. Then calculate the mean and SD. Check out our videos if you're not familiar with how to do that. Once calculated, the laboratory can enter these values into their QC system and fix them into place. As new QC is run, it's evaluated against these fixed settings. 20 points is not a lot of data to fix a mean and SD. You should reevaluate your mean and SD after a more statistically robust period, like 30 days. This will help you verify that the target still reflects the actual situation. Again, another approach would be to use floating, also known as cumulative means and SDs. Typically, these are calculated by laboratory systems. As additional acceptable data flows in, the system automatically calculates the mean and SDs. Therefore, they are constantly moving. At this point, you might be asking yourself if you should use fixed or floating statistics. It's up to the individual lab to decide this, but here are some pros and cons. With fixed means and SDs, you'll always know what your values and your limits are. This should make it easy to detect shifts and trends. On the downside, a fixed mean might need follow-up and adjustment. This may occur with new reagent lots, maintenance, or calibration. Floating statistics are always up to date. However, it will take longer to detect QC issues. With more data, a floating mean and SD will look more like a fixed mean and SD. Keep in mind that it's also possible to use a combination of both fixed and floating statistics. We hope you found this tutorial helpful. For all of your QC needs, visit www.qcnet.com.